Greetings and welcome to Channel Other Doc. I am Jim, and I use he/him pronouns, and this is the premiere of our new short campaign of Sunken, a game of nautical horror descended from Trophy Dark. This is going to be an anthology campaign, so you're going to get to see us play through multiple narratives with a variety of characters. I am incredibly excited for this. First, before we introduce everyone, just as a quick reminder, just a few content warnings. This game may contain depictions of homesickness, thirst, starvation, loss of individual agency, body mutilation, ritual animal slaughter, veiled, body horror, class conflict, mass drowning, religion, large and or supernatural sea creatures, and extreme weather conditions. And if you want to see all that at any time, you can type !Sunken, CW, and that will show the content warnings for this game. That is also on the rotation, so it'll come up fairly regularly in chat. This is going to be very cool. Let's go ahead and go around and say who we are and who we're playing right now. I am playing the ship's bosun, Dorian Pascal, and let us start with Wilde. Hello.
Hello, I'm Wilde. I'm an engineer. I use he, they pronouns. I am playing Ishmael Ahab, a fisher, injured whale hunter. Yeah, my name is in no way a pun.
No, it has absolutely. I've never seen that name before at all, in anything related to anything nautical at all, ever. And now let us head over to someone we've not actually seen on the channel before, except perhaps in an interview. Lindy, hello!
Hi, 'tis I, Lindy, laugh of Lindy, she, her pronouns. I will be playing Imelda Helia, she, they pronouns, and she's a surgeon, totally normal. Some might call her a miracle worker, but that's just the medicine. It's just science. Yes, that is all it is. Yep.
Not miracles, just science.
No, it's science.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Excellent.
Don't question it.
Wait. Finally, now let us head over to Hollow. Hello.
Hello, I'm Hollow. Tonight I'll be playing Arsene Robichaud, who is the ship's navigator, and he has some things going on with him. It's fine. Don't worry about it. He'll be fine. Yeah. I use he/him pronouns, and and Arsene will be using he/him pronouns as well.
Excellent. And now I'm going to turn things over to our Helm of the World, Sara.
Hello. That is the most amazing GM name possible. Major shout out to Mike Martens for creating Sunken and giving me the title of Helm of the World. My name is Sara. I use she, they pronouns. You can find me online at Sara of Swords. And I am your Helm of the World for the next couple of weeks with us as we play through 3 of Sunken's voyages, which is, one-shots or adventures. We are going to be stretching 1-shots into 2-shots so that we can get some extra time with these characters, allow them to explore the world and RP without the players having to worry about staring at a clock and going, oh gosh, it's 10:30 and we're halfway done. So with that, the first voyage we are going to be playing is The Wreck of the Futility. And because I like to give my audience and my players, especially in horror games, just kind of an idea of what's coming up so we can prep for that, the one-sentence summary of The Wreck of the Futility is: stranded in pack ice, a ship draws the attention of a hive mind vessel and confronts its connections to the origin of the world. So some specific media touchstone references for this are The Thing, The Terror, The Borg from Star Trek, 2001, and an Antarctic Mystery, which is really hard to say. You wouldn't imagine, but it is. And some specific content warnings for this one. I know Jim has that block of things that may come up in all of them, but we have loss of individual agency, body mutilation, and ritual animal slaughter. The 2 ones at the end there will be pulled behind a veil, so we don't go too deep into gore. And with that, I'd like to read the prologue for The Wreck of the Futility. In the halcyon summer days of its voyage, the Futility skimmed through the salt sea's southern reaches. Passage that would be frozen shut the breadth of the year gave just enough clearance for expedition during these long, if frigid, days. The Futility's bow grazed over the route's ice-clad skin, breaking it underneath in disquieting cracks. Much to the captain's delight, the risks of the route proved profitable with the discovery of an ancient obsidian keep peeking through cliffside snow. Such structures have long been rumored to pervade the frozen outcroppings of this deep corner of the world, but scant few vessels have been able to find and excavate them, much less return by winter. Futility has completed this leg of its journey with an impressive haul of precious artifacts that are sure to change the station of its crew. Alight with the shimmer of treasure, the captain had missed the shortening days and forgotten the final leg yet to reach. And so, the distancing sun hardening the sea's scales on all sides, locking even this formidable icebreaker within tightened pack ice. With the sky hovering low in resolute gray, frost whips through the air, flicking the skin with gelid darts. While the carpenter keeps idling bodies occupied reinforcing the hull, the Futility's frozen pace creeps as an impending doom into the minds of its crew. Winter has closed its clutch, and Futility will most assuredly not depart from it. So Captain Cecily Beaumont is a tall, imposing woman, skin and bone and facial features chiseled by decades of exposure to the salt air of the sea. And despite this current situation, she has never previously led the crew of the Futility astray. She is also a high-ranking member of the Pursuit, the fleet to which you all are aligned, and this vessel as well. And she has given the carpenter, Daniel DeWitt, free rein to utilize as many of the crew as possible in reinforcing the ship's hull. So Futility is an icebreaker, so it makes pretty good way on its own, but using metal and wood and anything possible to hefty up the hull there. And so over the past few weeks, you've all kind of come to the realization, slowly flowing across the crew, that though the cargo hold is full of treasures that are sure to change everybody's life around, get people moving up in social class, move locations, help families. The only way that the treasure can do any of that is if you get it back to port. And despite the progress that the Futility makes in a day, breaking through ice, you know that the ice is moving faster and growing at a faster rate than you can break through. So you've all come to the conclusion, even the captain, that you're probably not getting out of this, but that doesn't mean you're not going to try. So with that, let's go around and meet our crew. Tell us who you are, what you look like, and what you are doing as the sky slowly brightens with sunrise, which means that it's probably about 10:30 in the morning. So you've been up for a while in the dark, but as the sun crests the horizon, let's start with Ishmael. What do you look like and what are you doing?
Well, Ishmael, you could consider them a crusty sailor. You know, they definitely raggedy hair, unkempt beard. The salt of the sea has dried over their skin quite a bit, as you can definitely see that on them. They've probably been quite a while since they've actually showered. At the moment, they're just on the bow of the ship, you know, contemplating, looking out at the sea, almost as if they're keeping an eye out, watching and waiting for something.
Okay. And Imelda.
So Imelda is tall and very thin, especially, for the time period, and white hair, maybe a lot of stress in their life at one point, or maybe it's just natural. Big old scar over their eye from who knows what, but it's probably best not to ask questions. Just has a very stern expression on and is oiling their bone saw, because surgeons got to do surgery sometimes. And when you're out in the sea, the salt water is very corrosive. So you need to pay special attention to all of your metal implements. So it's probably just oiling the surgery equipment.
Okay. And Arson.
Arsene has the unfortunate job of being above deck with the captain, trying to make heads or tails of any of this shit. I don't want to die, and if I have to gut this captain to get away from here, then, because somebody can make some good calls, then that's what it's got to be. I didn't come all the way out here to seek all this treasure to go under because of somebody who thinks too highly of themselves.
Have you sailed with Cecily Beaumont before, or is this your first time?
This isn't the first time, but it's been a while, and I remember her being better.
Paid a little more attention last time. Yep.
Yeah, I think she's distracted. I'll send just WYSIWYG. You see what you get. Dark complexion. I got this bruise from thinking a few people at cards.
And Dorian.
So Dorian, I think everyone probably just calls him by his last name, Pascal. But for the most part, if he has any friends, they call him Dorian. He probably does not have many because he is the bosun, and therefore tells people to do things on this ship to try to help run the operations of the thing, and so Dorian has a tendency to be one of those who is like he's low key, doesn't like do a lot of shouting necessarily at everybody. Because he's been kind of doing this for a while. He never talks about his past, but he only, it's like if he gets to the point that he is excited about something or shouting about something, then something is very wrong. So he is so he looks like he might be roughly middle-aged. As you sort of see him emerge sort of from the Frenarian, sort of down around one side of the ship where he's trying to be, trying to get some, if need be, some folks down there with pikes to try to help out as far keeping things going, keeping the ice moving and away from us is very important. So he's sort of coming back from there, just sort of looking up, and you sort of will see him. He generally is sort of is going to dress sort of very, very simple sort of shirt and vest, and he is for the most part he's ordinarily bald, and bald, generally no facial hair, usually if he can help it. Although he probably has like the perpetual 5 o'clock shadow all over his head. And there probably, you probably can see, on one side of his head there are like burn marks. Perhaps covering up some kind of tattoo, hard to know. But as he just sort of he comes off and he looks down, and he just sort of looks down at the folks toward the further toward just down. Someone is sent down there near the ice again to try to help sort of shove things away, and he's like, "Oh, come on, what are you doing to me? Yeah, my grandparents can cut ice faster than that. Come on, keep going."
It's cold, Pascal. Yeah. One of the other people, one of the ice pick folks looks at you. It's cold, sir.
Just sort of looks around at the icebergs. Thank you for reporting that. I appreciate it. That's very good. Means you haven't lost your senses. That's why we're trying to get out. Keep going. And he just sort of shakes his
come
head.
on, come on,
Just move
Pascal."
faster. You'll get less cold. And he just sort of
Make
looks
sure
up.
you cover up. Frostbite is awfully terrible. I'd hate to have to amputate something.
Yeah.
At the mention of amputation, the sailor just visibly starts working harder to warm himself up.
There you go. Good motivation. And he looks up in the direction and sees the sun coming up, and he's like, and he just sort of says to the sun, there you are, you bastard.
Come on, Pascal. Hard to larboard, can't you see?
Yeah, that's part of the problem. He'll basically just keep going, picking up ropes, moving things around, talking, getting, making sure that progress is being made.
Right.
Broke the ship's cat like an evil villain.
Yes. Just amputation as you pet the cat. Yeah. So you see, especially as the sun begins to rise and glint off of it, in the night you have gotten within visual distance of you did find, and you're sailing back from a black obsidian fortress carved into the side of the landmass down here, and you are sailing past another one. It's smaller, a little bit sharper, perhaps an outpost of some sort, carved out of the same shiny black rock that's just beginning to get a glare of the sun on it. If you weren't trapped in ice and freezing cold water, the image of that black keep watch post rising from the sea amidst the glittering ice would actually be kind of pretty. But as it is, you are freezing and you are stuck here and you are trying to get out. So any potential tourist moments are potentially gone from that. Captain Beaumont looks over at Arsene and says, "We didn't change direction tonight, did we? I noticed the stars were out. We're good."
I look up.
I know that the sun is out now, Arsene. I'm asking, making sure that we are still in the right direction per the stars last night.
We're still on the right course, Captain. I just I kind of rub my shoulders, and we're still on. We're still on. That's fine. We're fine.
Okay. And shouts down at Ahab because it's pack ice, so it's pieces of ice that are kind of packed in deep, so you can see the water through some of those pieces. It's not like you are completely surrounded by a sheet of ice. And shouts down at Ahab, "What? Any word on the fishing that we talked about?" And you had spoken earlier a couple days ago about maybe fishing for some rations to make sure that you make it through the winter.
We're still low on bait, Captain. And I'm sure I've told you before, but it was in conditions similar to this that was on that fateful day. I had lost my one true enemy. And he just keeps prattling on, talking to anyone who will listen. I'm sure they've all heard it 1,000 times before.
Not this shit again.
Learn to tune it out.
I was there with my trusty harpoon, and I just stared it in the eye. And I swear, it spoke directly to me. I don't know if it was into my mind, but no one else could hear it. But I know it spoke.
Have you checked with any of these fish lately? See if they'll talk to you, because
he's scared them all off. They're
because,
bold.
Maybe if you look in deeper, maybe they're gonna come. Maybe they're gonna come up. All right. Yes. See what you can do. All right.
I mean,
might be helpful if we have a little bit to eat at some point. You never know.
Tried dragging some lines.
Be worth a try.
Off the back, but everything we use as bait is something we cannot eat. So it depends on what you're willing to risk.
Who's the most useless down there with you, Dorian? We'll chop him up for bait. How about that? Huh?
The guy who earlier mentioned it being cold, just starts going really, really fast. So more so than when the subject of amputation came back up. It's like, don't get noticed. Don't get noticed. Don't get noticed.
Just sort of stop for a second.
If I get noticed, it's for being a hard worker.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like, oh, there you go, Smith. Yeah. Motivation. Remember, motivation.
Smith has this really bushy fisherman's beard, and you've been around sailors long enough, Dorian, that you know when someone is making a face at you, and you just you know that Smith is glaring, even though it's all even though he is 90% beard, you know that he is just glaring deathly at you.
That's good.
But he does not stop.
That's good. Life, that's what we're looking for. Life. Keep going.
Life. He elbows the guy next to him and shivers and kind of, again, tries to get noticed for doing hard work and therefore not being expendable.
Oh.
As the sun climbs in the sky, it does not get any warmer. In theory, it's probably a few degrees warmer with the sun up, but it's not at these temperatures, it's not noticeable. You leave the towering watchtower behind. And is there anything else anyone would like to do on this day before we cut to the next one?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Who seems to be lagging behind?
There is one person. His name is escaping me at the moment. Magnus. His name is Magnus. Shorter fella, really skinny, probably 110 pounds soaking wet, which he doesn't want to be in this weather. And he is either unable or unwilling to keep up, especially with the pace that Smith has just set. Everybody else seems to be matching that, but Magnus is noticeably lagging, and he's mostly skin and bones.
Yeah. If he's still on shift when dark comes, I might leave a line in the way for Magnus. Less mouths we have to feed, more chances we have of getting home.
I see nothing.
I would like to let's see here. I would like to move untraceably through the darkness, perhaps.
That's right. You've got that. What saint gives you that?
Saint Gliv.
Saint Gliv.
Saint Gliv, let my hands be light, let my feet be swift. With your mercy, you will see me through the darkness of this place.
All right. So roll for that. So you can add. Hang on. We're all learning this game together. So his favor. Yeah. All right. So roll for that. You can roll however many colored die for the flesh, which is however many tags and your background and occupation apply to this. And your deep is your current level of fall, which I think for you is 3.
Yes.
And 1 for the heavens for the fortune of Saint Gliv. And then what's your highest roll?
Okay, so my flesh is 17.
Which is the highest? It's a dice pool, not a.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And my highest is the flesh currently at 17.
Okay. So what was the highest number on the die?
4.
Okay. And is that do either of your heavens or deep have a 4?
My deep does have a 4, yes.
Okay. So you take an extra level of fall for that already.
Oh, good.
But I will say that it's pretty easy what you're trying to do. You're not, you're an accomplished thief. So though you do take an additional level of fall, you get a little colder trying to do this by night without being in the inside, and where it's not really actually noticeably warmer, but it's at least out of the wind. And you do move untraceably through the darkness and set a line up for Magnus. And are you trying to trip him, or are you trying into the ocean, or are you trying to grind him up as bait? What's the goal there?
The goal is dead. And if bait is an option, then great. But if I can't do that, then dead is good.
Okay. I think since there's not really a bait grinder to put him into, that he's the last one to leave the deck. He was at the back of the line, and between the ice on the deck and the line that you've intentionally left there unseen, his foot catches it, and silently he falls overboard into the dark, freezing water below. So you've successfully killed off Magnus.
Good.
I think Imelda just every day checks over everyone for signs of frostbite on their extremities, because it's better if you catch it early than if not, because it might be the difference between a finger or two versus the limb. So just, frostbite checks, fingers and toes. Let me see them digits, basically.
Yeah, there's a line of people for that. I'm not going to make you roll because you're the surgeon, and there's no risk behind this. So you do find a couple of people with fingertips that are starting to get frostbite, and maybe their gloves got a little wet during the day or have holes in them.
Yeah, and then
take care of that.
Yeah.
Arsene, you had something.
I gained another fall, so I gain another condition.
Oh, yes, you do gain a condition. Thank you. That's not the right part of the book.
It's page 41.
Thank you. So I'm going to say, if you're cool with it, the ghost of a former crewmate haunts you, egging on dangerous situations. So you see out of the corner of your eye a shadow of somebody that you used to work with. That is just there and subtly not doing anything, but you get the sense that they might be an influence one way or another.
Don't look at me like that. He deserved it. You saw him. He wasn't doing anything. Dead weight. Dead is dead now.
The figure kind of backs away, not quite Homer Simpson gif, but backs away into the wall and turns to the side, and you notice that it's a real skinny and small ghost. Kind of a familiar shadow to someone you saw earlier today.
Okay, yeah. It's fine. All right. Yeah. I just, my hands are a little frostbitten during your check in the morning. Probably more so than they ought to be, considering my cushy position on the boat, relatively.
Ahab is going to try and scrounge around for some bait and throw a couple lines just in the chance that they might catch something.
Okay. Yeah, so you throw a few lines out to drag behind the ship, or however fishing from a big ship works. You as the fishermen know how to do that. And you do have enough bait. You are running low on bait, but you have enough to get these lines out. And the level of bait you have is exactly what you had before. It hasn't been added to in the last couple of hours. Imelda, you do notice. Oh, Dorian, you had something.
I did. Just so that I'm clear. We are in the process. We're in the process of trying to get out, or we are still heading in.
You are trying to get out. You've made your mission, and you have a cargo hold full of shiny treasures that you're trying to get out of the ice and back to port.
Okay, so it's mostly just a question of getting enough cut in front of us or away from us. Are we actually moving right now, or is it?
Yeah, you're moving. You're moving at a pace. The Futility is an icebreaker ship, so between that's its natural state and the Carpenter continuing to add to the hull and giving it some heft, some additional heft, you are moving, but it's a problem of one step forward, two steps back, because the ice is growing at a rate that you can't catch up with.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to mostly at this point. Just sort of, looking and seeing the rate at which it's happening, I'm like, okay, no, we just got to keep them distracted at this point more than anything else. At this point, what probably I'm going to be doing is just kind of trying to keep everybody busy, trying to keep so that, that we've got... doing what we can to sort of piece together things that we can use to try to whatever devices we need to piece together to try to help move the ice, and trying to actually make it so that the maybe not entirely not in the well, he's hoping it doesn't turn bitter, but he sort of has people compete a little bit to try to see who can like actually get more ice out of the way type thing. He sort of tries to turn it into a game.
Hit the starboard crew against the port crew. So
basically.
Get faster.
And to try to see, who can get the ice out faster, and who can keep the, keeping everything within the lines we need to keep them in as we head further on. Try to set someone to if we still have a living lookout, then just try to see if there's anything that can be done to support them, to try to help so we can see what's coming, if at all, and sort of with an understanding that the sun does not make it easy, and also keep the probably will help to do what he can to help keep the lookout. Do what he can a little bit to make sure the lookout is kept a little bit warm. And it's for some reason Dorian doesn't seem as bothered by the cold as everyone else. I'm going to say probably, if that's acceptable. It seems, but based on background, but it's so it's a thing where he's just sort of will try to just get around the ship as much as he can to try to get everyone coordinated and keep things moving.
Yeah, your lookout. Her name is Graves. She's a smaller woman. Perfect. The lookouts are all like shorter, lithe people, so that they can get up in the rigging real easily. And the woman on watch tonight, her name is Graves. She's short, brunette, bundled up. She looks a little bit like the kid in A Christmas Story, totally covered in scarves, and I think there's a burlap sack in there somewhere, but just anything to keep herself warm, and mostly at this point it's wind, especially up that high. Hey, anything from the day watch, sir?
It's a lot of it's more of the same, but you know how it goes. It's
Any interesting pieces of ice I should be aware about? You know, anything that looks like a bear, looks like a cat, maybe. You know.
We had something kind of antelope shaped, but it fell in before we could actually be certain. Yeah.
That's a bummer. Tate saw a unicorn the other day. So.
When is Tate not seeing unicorns?
Yeah, you know, sir, that's a good point. Tate's always seeing unicorns. I think it's a condition at this point. You know, none of us have ever seen him, but he sure sees a lot.
No. Well, you know, bless him. Everyone's got to have their thing. And I'm just sort of looking around were we in the crow's nest? Do we have one of those? Is that what this is?
Yeah, Tate is climbing down in the process, and Graves is about to go up once he gets back down. So you're standing kind of midship, right by the mast of where the crow's nest is.
Yeah. All right. So just sort of looking around. It's tricky because it's hard you can't really put anything up to try to block the wind because they have to see. So it's probably going to be a thing where he'll just sort of bring. There's probably some sort of like cup of soup type thing he's going to go ahead and hand to her. Just
mug of soup
for the night, just so that it's like, all right, well, it's I'm gonna go down and probably catch half a wink in a bit, but I'll be up regularly. So feel anything falling asleep what's not supposed to, just holler out and I'll come up and annoy you for a while.
Appreciate that, sir. You're good at that.
Well, we all gotta have talents.
As Tate climbs down, Graves one-handed, she's got the mug of soup in one hand and kind of climbs up awkwardly with the other. But she's done this enough times to know how to balance herself and get up there.
Yeah, that's all I can think of. I don't think I'm going to do anything I can't think of anything especially clever to try at this point.
Okay, that's fine.
Aside from, the usual, just hoping, just again, checking around, hoping nobody freezes to death, and that does his best to try to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah. You encourage we had the day shift with Magnus and Smith, doing the ice picking thing, but it's kind of an all day 24-hour job. So the night shift gets on, and you pit the starboard and port crews against each other, in some friendly competition, to just keep spirits up. And Imelda, as you are checking, the day shift through for frostbite, you notice that you don't see Magnus. It's a crew it's not a crew that's a family, but it's a crew that you've been around enough to know who everybody is. And Magnus is, he's physically stands out from everybody in that he has probably no business being a sailor, and he's not there.
He notes his absence, perhaps even marks it down, and then makes a note that if he comes to her crying about frostbite, she's just gonna lop it all off. She's just gonna be like, well, you missed your check-in. And if he doesn't come in for the next one, then she might start asking around. He's probably just messing around somewhere, trying to slack off. I don't know. That's not her business. Her business is to just make sure. But she does note it. The absence is noted.
All right. So you all manage to fall asleep, whether it's for 20 minutes or a couple of hours. You all take that, and you're all woken up it's that murky, actually it's still dark out because it gets light really late in the morning. So you're woken up, it's probably around 6 o'clock in the morning. It's only about, an hour before you would normally wake up for shift, with Graves. You hear Graves shouting off, and it's kind of murmured. You can't really hear exactly what she's saying, but there's a relay of voices that she passes it down to somebody who then passes it, and there's a bell clanging, and there is some commotion of some very large sort happening on the main deck.
Bye. And put on, shoes, proceed to go up.
I let the foolish go first, because if it's something dangerous, may it catch them and not me.
Yeah, I'm not first. I'm like second or third. Yeah, you never want to be the first person up. Also, I'm the surgeon. I'm not the most needed, typically.
Ahab is definitely first. He's going to grab his harpoon and rush over to the commotion, checking the side rails, seeing if there's actually anything in the water so that they can maybe try and capture or grab, hook real quick. Maybe it's food.
So you see Ahab. Oh, Dorian, go ahead.
Well, no, yeah, I'm going to be charging up probably not far after Ahab, just because Dorian Dorian is probably more awake at night than he is during the day for various reasons. But is like going to just sort of get out and sort of charge up there after him, just to see what's going on.
All right. You see as you get on deck, just sort of as immediately as you get up there, you see this monstrous beast climb aboard. It has mauled several deckhands and knocked, 3 or 4 people from the port side overboard into the freezing water. It is huge. It looks like a bear, but not. It's like it's trying hard to be a bear and misses the mark. It's a little bit longer, a little bit more angular, maybe like a bear that hasn't eaten in a few days. And it is black hair, and it's something that would have been noticed on the ice, just because it's so contrasting. But its fur drips, it's is matted, and it drips with water as if it had just gotten out of the ocean. And it is snarling, and there's deckhand blood everywhere and dripping from its teeth. It doesn't seem like it's trying to eat anybody, but it definitely mauled people to get out of the way.
At least it's not a damn unicorn. It's going to start running for any available weapons.
All right. So it seems to be heading towards like a doorway that would lead into the ship, the inside of the ship. But it's snarling and it's confused. It didn't expect to have any resistance on board.
Ahab's immediately going to try and throw his harpoon into it.
All right. Go ahead and make me a risky action roll, which is where you do your the flesh die with your traits, and then the deep for your fall.
Let's see. I have sea life might work, ecology might work, hunting might work. Do you think ecology would work here?
Yeah, it's bear-like. You've never seen anything like this before, and you kind of hope not to ever again. But it's definitely an animal, so you can guess at some of its behavior.
I'm not going to call him my saint, so do I not need to? Don't need to roll.
You don't need to roll the heavens. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, highest I rolled was a 3. My deep was 4.
Okay. So that means that where did it go? You take a condition, I believe, and your fall goes up. Oh, no, it is. your deep die was a 4, so yeah, your highest roll is a deep die. So you take an extra level of fall for that, and you gain a condition, which is as you do this, and your harpoon just it kind of slices through the fur. It doesn't quite catch the animal itself, and at the same time, there is a frost. You've seen birds in the area, but there's a frost-covered gull that lands on the deck and starts cawing at you specifically. That's all. So you have a frost-covered gull that is following you everywhere, cackling intermittently, which is not strange at all. All right, what do the rest of you do?
I actually have a little bit of a plan.
All right.
What side of the ship is the bear thing on?
Port, which is left.
Right.
Left.
Correct. Yes. Left. Correct. So I'm basically sort of going down, starting to bark orders a bit to its to a few. You lot repel that border. Border. Just grab something, keep it away. Grab a pole, anything long, keep it away from you. Push it back toward the edge. You lot. And he's sort of heading up to the sort of near where the folks near the wheel. In a minute, I'm gonna signal. We're gonna turn hard to starboard. And the idea being, we're trying to knock the thing off the boat.
Okay.
What do you mean he's showing me up? No one shows me up.
And I'm just doing this until the captain or someone else says, wants us to do something else. This is just my knee-jerk reaction at this point.
Yeah.
And so just trying to shake the thing off the boat.
I yell, Ahab, get the powder. This is your chance. Get your beast. It's right there.
I think Imelda gets to the deck at this point and just sighs like these people. Imelda sighs a lot. They just have a lot to sigh about in life, and pulls out, surgery knife. And their plan is to, should the beast get too close or try to mess the people pushing it off with poles, to give it a good swing at it. Because if there's anything Imelda's good at, it's amputating limbs and, cutting people open and putting them back together too. Yes. Yes.
As a person in my profession, I notice how casual you are with those knives, and it bothers me.
Yeah, she's very casual with them. It's just, like second nature.
So are you trying to hit it, or are you just getting ready for any kind of medical situation?
Well, I mean, medical can be handled afterwards. The beast needs to be handled first. So getting ready to hit it, should it step out of line, I guess.
Okay, so if it comes by, because you've got...
if it's handled, she doesn't want to get in and mess it up. But if it starts to get out of control, that's when she'll be like, no, stab, slice.
It seems to take a particular interest in Ahab, since Ahab is the one who tried to spear it. And as it turns in the in the aurora that's overhead, because it's still dark out, you catch that there's something glinting in its fur that's not just ice or water, like maybe stone or something embedded in its skin and fur. As it
all over, or just in a specific little spot?
Kind of speckled.
Okay.
It's sort of an all over situation, but it's not like its skin is made of stone. It's just parts of it.
Okay.
Are there.
Yeah. Cool.
I heard a plan that had something to do with powder.
I'm just trying to convince Ahab that to catch his prey, the powder is a good call. Like just let's get the black powder, let's do it. Just.
May I remind you, the ship is made of wood.
As I nod to nothing.
As you say this, Ahab's will be like, "You can get the powder yourself. I'm gonna be a man and try and hunt this thing with my bare hands."
Yeah, I'm ready to pack up Ahab. This sounds like a bad idea.
You may call yourself a man, but one of us is alive and not lonely.
Arsene, you see out of the corner of your eye, you see that shadow that you saw last night, just on the deck, staring at you, and kind of makes a nod toward the not bear. And you get it's just a shadow, but it has an expression on it of, you could do this. Come on.
I bet I could. I could do it. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'm gonna go get the powder. I'm gonna show Ahab what a real man can do with powder. Yeah. All right. I'll go below deck and I'll get the powder.
All right. Well, Arsene is getting the powder. What are the rest of you doing? Ahab, are you going to try and hit it again? Catch it with your bare hands? Dorian, giving orders?
Yeah, mostly giving orders, and then if I need to jump in myself, I will.
Okay.
I'm grabbing a torch.
Ahab.
Wow.
If need be.
Yeah, and that torch does help because it is dark out, and I mean there's lights and lanterns strung around the railing of the ship and in the rigging, so that the night shift can see what's going on. But the torch actually does help light up the situation quite a bit, so that you get a good look at it, at the creature's glassy eyes and this strange stone that's in its skin.
And I'll say that possibly the I don't know if the crewmen saw, but the camera will probably see me pick up an unlit torch and just run my hand over it, and it bursts into flames. As I step forward, if I'm allowed to do that using what I have.
and Smith hasn't slept. You've never seen Smith sleep ever. And you suspect either he keeps the exact same sleep schedule that you do, or that this man he's powered by the beard. And the camera pans and sees Smith staring at you and just is completely nonplussed by this. Just like, all right. Joins the starboard crew to kind of help them out.
I think Ahab is going to grab a rope and try to take this creature's back. And I guess essentially try to choke it out with the rope.
Okay.
That's the smart thing to do.
So you're going to try and loop the rope around its neck and choke it?
Yeah. So I get it right up close and personal.
All right. Go ahead and make me a roll for that. And there is a feature of the Heavens die called Fortune, which anybody can make that suggestion. It doesn't have to just be me or the person doing the roll, where you can say that if the highest roll is or equal to the Heavens roll, then that good thing immediately happens. Like it's, not that the bear drops dead, but that you put people in an advantageous position. The wood ship doesn't catch on fire with the gunpowder, things like that. So if it'll be fine. So if anybody has any, and you can do that with anybody's roll. So if anybody has any fortune ideas, they are free to suggest those. If you want to take it. There's no real risk if you, well, I guess there is, because of you can take some extra fall if it doesn't work, but.
I guess I would take it at this point.
Okay. So I would say a possible fortune for you is that this works and you get close enough to do that and you don't take any damage in return. So you very smoothly, you catch it off guard and would do this with no harm to yourself or any of your fellow deckhands.
Right, so my fortune die was the 5, and that's the highest number.
Nice. So that happens, and so you creep up behind it, and what does this look like as you choke out the beast? What do you? How do you subdue it?
It's like not at all graceful. It's like just managing to sneak up on the beast and all the confusion of it, and it kind of just throws his rope around its neck and just kind of, just puts it over his shoulder and walks back, just kind of catching it. It being forward, it's forced to like rear up on its hind legs.
Yeah. So you pull hard enough and choke the thing out, and it with a howl that just sends this absolute shiver up your spine. It falls down and is, if not actually dead, it is at least unconscious for the moment. And I feel like at this point, Arsene, you would run up with the gunpowder to see that the beast has been subdued by Ahab.
Not what I was expecting. I want to examine this beast that has been choked out.
Absolutely. So go ahead and what are your traits? Because this isn't really risky because it's
I have
unconscious or
anatomy,
dead.
disease, and amputation for my surgeon traits.
So yeah, I would say, because again, you got the fortune where there's no harm to yourself or other crew members. I would say that you don't actually need to roll for this because it is currently not a threat to you.
Mm-hmm.
So you see up that sorry, I was just laughing at chat. Jen. You see that the beast is still breathing. It's a bit of a ragged breathing, kind
Just
of
unconscious.
uneven,
Yeah.
just unconscious, but it thoroughly so. You see that it is beneath the thick black fur and this stone, which looks to be similar to what the keep and the watchtower were made out of.
Weird obsidian-esque.
Yeah, the weird obsidian kind of, it looks especially strange underneath the starlight and the aurora. It's got this shifting greenish blue about it in the reflection. And beneath all of that, this beast is emaciated. You can feel and palpate to feel ribs. And its snout is long, and it looks a little bit like the bear from Annihilation, if anybody's seen that movie and gets that reference. Sorry, Jim. Where it's a not bear. You would classify it as a bear because 4 legs, snout, got that bear look about it, but something about it is deeply wrong. And it's got very sharp teeth that are dripping kind of a black saliva.
But I guess that it is diseased and we should maybe not eat this.
You don't know if it's diseased, but should not eat this is probably a good idea.
Cool. This beast has been subdued, but we should not consume it as food. It would not go well for us, I do not think.
Why not?
Well, eating itself is starving. It might be diseased. These things do not seem... Its condition does not seem very natural.
Oh, we just make a fire and cook off the disease?
That is not how disease works, no. You have to completely burn it to rid of the disease, and then we could not eat it. Unless you like eating ash.
We can just put it out in the sun and throw some salt water on it, and once it dries out, it should be good to go.
But that is also not how you deal with disease.
I just
These
shaking
are the four
furious, go
humors
back
of the
below
body.
deck.
While you're saying this, you see Ahab's coming by with a knife, like definitely ready to start parting the beast.
Let's just check. Just hold on a second there. Hold on a second there, Ahab. But let's before you start digging in. And if is the captain on deck at this point?
Yes, the captain has been out. The captain, I forgot to mention her. She is standing up there. You've heard a couple of gunshots that have missed, and she has her trusty old revolver by her side.
Okay.
She's not having a good couple of weeks of it. Cecily isn't. Yeah.
I'm guessing not. Well, I just sort
It was
of
dark. It was a black bear. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah, this must be. I'm just going to report to her what Imelda has said about the beast. That's probably diseased, and I think probably would not be safe to eat. Oh dear. But should we need to? What do you want us to do with it?
She said it was still living. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aye.
Get it off my ship.
Right, and they sort of turn around. You're the captain, and just sort of say, "Right, we're gonna let's get this thing. Let's just get this thing up and over."
Wait. If you're gonna throw it off, at least let me put some pieces out for bait. I mean, that's technically off the ship, right?
Technically.
As long as it should be all right to use as bait if we do not consume the contents of the stomach and it doesn't have time to digest once the line is strung.
Let's make sure we remember which nets we put that in. Yeah, and sort of nods.
Yes.
A little bit skeptical of this bait.
Yeah, I'm sure chumming the water here is a great idea. That's all I'm just gonna say. Yeah.
Yeah.
I finally come back. Hey, what are we doing with it?
Zane, help me chum the waters. Let's start hacking it up.
Chum the what?
And start chucking pieces overboard.
Oh no! Why you did? Oh, don't do that.
That's the opposite of what we want to do here.
To chum the water.
So it is still alive.
Rock. Yeah,
but,
I don't think it's gonna be alive for long.
No, for sure not.
Can I pry out one of those like rock segments from it? Because I imagine we probably didn't take some from the fortress we went to.
Yeah, it was pretty solid. You mostly took items that you could pull, and there's a few pieces of obsidian that it sort of fallen off, but you mostly took things that were actually portable. Because it is still alive and will likely notice if somebody cuts into it.
I know anatomy. Can we put it out of its misery first?
Yeah, sure. I'm still gonna say because the rope at this point has been relaxed a little bit. It is closer to consciousness than it would, so it'll probably notice this. So I'll have you roll for it.
Sure. What do I roll for this specifically?
You will roll 0 to 4 flesh dice for any of your tags that either in your background or
anatomy and amputation. This is
absolutely.
Okay.
And then you roll deep die that is equal to your fall.
And how much fall do we start with? 3?
You started with 1 plus one for each saint you took.
So so 2. Cool. I'm just gonna write that down there. 2. Cool. So just those. All right. Okay. I got a 5. It is my highest die on the flesh die.
And flesh die was your 5. Sweet. So the beast, it kind of comes to wakefulness a bit, to the point where you've got to jump out of the way. But it's not pretty and it's not easy going, but you do, because you were putting it out of its misery first and then doing that.
Yes. So it doesn't You get feisty. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So as you're cutting into it, its blood is kind of this black acrid thing that it burns away some of it drips on, your scarf and kind of burns a hole in that.
No, we definitely don't need to eat this. This is terrible. No.
But you are able to put the beast out of its misery, and then it's not pretty. And it's definitely not the best excavation job, but
it's still sizzling on the deck too.
Yeah, it's sizzling on the deck. This deck is going to be forever like acid stained. And you pry out one of the pieces and you were on one of the explorations that went into the keep, and you know that it is the same material, and you notice that it was embedded in the skin. It's not like it was just, for lack of a better phrase, glued on. It was like it had grown into.
Oh, ew, because grown in versus embedded. No, cool. Love it.
All right. And Captain Beaumont enunciates, "Get it off my ship, please, before it eats away any more of the wood."
Right, you're the captain. Off. Get it off. I'm gonna go to sort of pitch in and try to help get this thing off the boat.
Yep. And the port crew is down by about half. You've lost some of the crew members there to the beast climbing aboard the ship. But between everybody else who's on deck and yourselves, you are able to wrestle this thing over the side, and it kind of lands on a sheet of ice and then slowly slides into the water with a slow splash. And the water being as deep as it is here, and the creature being having black fur, it disappears almost immediately.
I'm actually gonna, so before I help reassign what crew we need to get both sides covered, I'm actually going to check in with Arson on something. Yes. Listen, do we need to make any do you think we need to make any sort of course correction here to avoid anything coming up after that thing we just tossed off the side?
Oh, let me just give me a second to think about that. And as I look to port, I also side eye my companion, the Shadow, who is clearly a servant of Saint Gliv here to test me. Clearly.
The shadow fades away into the darkness of the pre-dawn sky.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make some changes. Probably some big ones. What do you see out there in the ice field?
And I'm just gonna so I'm gonna call up to I'm gonna hang on. I'm gonna call up to hey, oi Graves.
Yeah, sir.
Well, we got anything out there?
Hard to tell. It's mostly dark all around, pretty sky, a lot of ice. No more big things like what just crawled onto the deck, though, if that's what you're asking.
Right. Keep an eye out.
Always.
And actually, we tossed it off the port side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep an eye out, especially port and aft, in case we got something else coming up.
You got it, sir.
And we just sort of shrug and say, that's about what we got.
I guess I would like to make a navigation roll to make a course correction to
Sure.
Stay away from all this. This is gonna be great with all this fall I got.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I would offer you, if you want to take it, a fortune for the heavens roll. If your highest die is or matches the heavens roll, you'll be, nothing else will be a problem for you this evening.
Okay. So I guess, how do you interpret this? So I have an 11. I have an 11 deep and an 11 it's a flesh roll, right, for the navigation, or heavens roll?
You can add it's a flesh roll plus you always roll flesh and deep. And then you can add the heavens in if you wanted.
I will take my heavens roll. Sure. Yeah, so my flesh roll and my heavens, my flesh roll and my deep roll were both 11.
Okay, so what was the highest number on the die on either of those?
6 in the deep.
Okay.
Yes. And
then what'd you get in your heavens?
I got a 4 in the heavens.
Okay. Where did it go? I have this all like post-it noted, and I still can't find anything in this book. Okay. And what was your lowest number?
My lowest number was also in deep, which was a 1. I have 2 1s.
Okay. Perfect. So you don't take any extra fall from the heavens, being not there, but you do. So you said it was your highest die was a 4, and it was in deep.
No,
it was 6.
My highest die was a 6, was in deep. Yes.
Okay. So you take an extra level of fall for that.
Okay. So I will see here. Where is it? I will attempt to, as I feel my body shiver, I will attempt to seek favor from my saint.
All right.
And maybe things will work out, or this will be great. I had this bookmarked. There we go. I get ready to say something like, well, you can, and then I stop, and then I look like I'm thinking as I like visibly shiver, and I would like to perhaps give some incorrect instructions to our bosun here, trying to sabotage him and maybe reduce my fall.
All right.
By 1.
Excellent.
Go ahead and roll.
What do you...
So you roll heaven. So you're trying to do a favor roll.
Yeah,
so roll heavens and any flesh tied to traits that you utilize in subterfuge. You don't roll deep with this one.
Yep. And then if my die result is lower than my fall, if a die's result is lower than my fall, well,
yep.
Okay.
Any one of them.
Navigation plus heavens. Okay, yeah. So, I look at you.
What was your lowest die?
My lowest die was a 5, actually. So I look at you, and I seem to just get ready to speak, and then I fall backwards on the deck. I had a lit cigarette, and I still had a pack of powder, and when I fall backwards, I actually roll onto my powder with my cigarette or cigar or lit implement, and I blow a hole in my side, right in front of you.
Guess I have to fix it.
By God. Medic!
Yeah.
So the good news about that is that you did roll a 6 on your navigation roll. So the ship is on a corrected course before you blow a hole in your side, because your fall is now above 4 and you are technically dead.
Yep. I am technically dead, but you know what? I was sitting here. I actually rolled up the guy I murdered. As I'll put the background in the chat we have.
All right.
Oh my God.
That was fast.
Nice.
That's how I found out.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Nice.
That's good.
Very nice.
All right. So you all watch as Arsene gives instructions to or uses the wheel with all of his navigational instruments, charting by the stars, and reroutes the course solidly away from where you picked up the creature, but still heading toward your destination of out of the ice. You hear creaking and scraping of ice against the keel and the hull, that's the word, hull of the ship, as you throughout in the night change direction. You also see this Arsene give this order and light up a cigarette, and it's just really cold. It's really cold up here. And through the shivering, manages to slip on a patch of ice on the deck and fall down onto the gunpowder that was there. You hear this big explosion, and Arsene is dead. On the other hand, Imelda, you see emerging from the shadows, Magnus has been found after all. And with that, we will go take a break.
Awesome. Oh my God. All right. We will be back shortly.
Trophy, y'all.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant. See you folks in a little bit. we have returned.
Hi, we're back. We've braked. Jim made an unintentional water pun. It's all good. I'm gonna keep track of how many times you say dive in.
You see, you say it for like 3 years, and
Yeah.
it's very hard not to say it when.
All right. So we left off with the crew having taken down this strange bear-like creature, as I was referring to it as the Not Bear. Discovered that it had strange obsidian stones growing out of it, and then Imelda pried one out. So congratulations, you have a bear obsidian. It's kind of covered in the weird the acidic blood, but you can wipe that off and probably destroy a handkerchief in the process.
Yeah, it's
and
fine. I'll just use Arsene's old jacket or clothes or whatever. She's not.
Speaking of
use it anymore.
Arsene, Arsene died.
Yep.
So we had character death before the break even happened on episode 1. It's Trophy and Sunken, how the game works. And Magnus, who had previously been tripped or kicked overboard by Arsene, has mysteriously showed back up. And the creature has been hauled overboard and splashed into the deep. And so, Magnus, what do you want to introduce yourself for the benefit of the audience?
Hi, audience. I'm Magnus. I'm just happy to be here. I really wasn't expecting to be overboard and then unoverboard, but it's just the way the world works sometimes. Yeah. I love the ship.
Just can't let it go. Can't get rid of you. Like a barnacle. So back jump. So a few days go by. With Arsene's last living act to do a course correction away from wherever you picked up the strange creature. And you've had an uneventful few days. Pascal, you've been able to redistribute the worker shift rota so that you have a full component back in the port crew from those who have sadly fallen to the deep in fates unknown, but probably presumed. Ahab, that weird gull keeps following you around everywhere up top.
I think I tried to capture it for food and bait.
Okay.
So it's not just it just follows me, I'm also following it.
Okay. You and the gull just keeps cawing at you pretty relentlessly. It's super annoying. But every time you try to get near it, it flies just out of reach. So it's in on, and then it hops back within reach and then flies back out.
Yeah, this happens all day for a couple days. I just keep trying to.
It's the new story of the beast that everybody was bored by earlier, and now it's Ahab's back with the bird again. So a few days later, again, uneventful days. It's again the night shift. Graves is up in her spot in the crow's nest, finished her soup, and has now set the mug down there and is keeping not that she was wasn't keeping an eye out earlier. It was just kind of hard to see because it was the creature had black fur in the night. It was all kind of dark and she wasn't looking in the right direction, and human vision. And a few nights later, quietly, she passes, or as quietly as she can, just to shout down, from the crow's nest to Pascal or to whoever's on deck. Hey, get Pascal. And so Pascal, you have a spare deckhand is coming to wake you up. Graves has something, sir.
Ah! Oh, yeah. What we got?
Strange light coming toward us from across the sea. You best come up.
Oh, good. Can't miss that. Just sort of get up and start climbing up the
raking. Graves is sort of lit up by some backlit by some light, so you can see her up top, and she points, and you see a very specific. It's got to be a lantern. There's nothing else in this world that makes that kind of flickering with that kind of yellow light. Coming toward you, gradually growing brighter. It started out as a spot, and now it's coming toward you across, picking its way across the ice toward you.
Is there a thing you're supposed to yell when you sight person?
Probably. Sort of land ho, person ho? I don't know.
Yeah.
Or be someone over yonder.
Yeah. Which side is it? Is it aft?
This one's on starboard. And what's front? Aft and forward is how it works, I think, right?
The bow. The stern
bow.
And bow.
And stern and bow. Thank you. Starboard, so it's off to the right and in front of and to the front.
Okay. So, starboard bow.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to say and failed.
Oh, yeah, no, really. Yeah. So yeah, just basically we'll just kind of call down, look alive, light to starboard bow, and just sort of come down. And let's see, do we have a greeting protocol for this kind of thing? No, probably not.
Probably not. It's probably just hey stranger, how to yeah, yo, man in the water dude from chat.
Yeah.
And as it gets closer and you can start to see some details, again, it's it's not quite a full moon, but it's enough to give some brightness to the dark. So as the light gets closer, you can see that it is a sail powered dinghy that is on sled rails. So it's designed to go over the ice, but it's still sailing via wind. That is coming closer to you, and its front half has a kind of an oily, tattered tarp on it that is just snapping back and forth in the wind. And dressed in still, it's actually strangely not bundled up. You see the rider dressed in some sort of, is still protected, maybe whale skin jacket, something like that, but nowhere near the bundling that your crew is needing to do.
Yeah, that makes me immediately suspicious.
Yeah, Magnus is on deck. His performance has seemed to improve somewhat, but he goes around with this this terrible rictus grin smile, just with everything he does.
Do we have any? Oh my God! Do we have any officers awake right now, or is it?
I think it's you, man.
Oh shit! Okay.
How late in the night is it?
It's around midnight.
I don't think Ahab sleeps very much.
You again see Smith.
Here reporting, sir.
Who's on deck as well. Smith and his beard. On deck and ready.
And actually, I'll tell. Actually, I was just since Magnus is up and ready to do something, Pascal will just sort of lean down. Like, we gotta wake the captain. Tell him we got a visitor.
I'll go wake the captain. Tell him we got a visitor.
Yeah, someone off starboard bow coming in. On some kind of sled.
Sled, got it.
Love Magnus. Melda, they'll sigh, hearing commotion up on deck. Roll out of bed again. And
I'm on the sled
make
outside.
their way up to the deck.
And can Ahab go to the side where the person is and yell out to them?
Sure. Absolutely.
And so Ahab's
yell
gonna
out.
yell out. It's like, hey, you there! Have you heard word of a beast larger than a boat?
I've heard many tales of many beasts larger than many boats. You would need to be more specific.
It can speak into one's mind.
Well, that narrows it down. Not to one, though.
Maybe it's a unicorn.
The man on the sled looks a little puzzled. Unicorns? No, not around these parts.
Oh, mighty flames! I just sort of come forward to the railing. I see you've met our welcoming and entertainment committee.
I have indeed.
Yeah.
That's when.
I mean, if no one told you by now, you'd have to have noticed.
So does that mean I don't have to fish anymore then?
Nope, that's the prime source of entertainment. I just sort of lean over. So hi there, what you doing in these parts?
Collecting. Name's Longinus. I collect things, people, mostly things.
Longinus is holding a source of light, I presume, or has
Yes.
one.
Or there's
on
the source of
their
light
vehicle.
on his sled. Yeah.
And so just giving this person a once over. Is there anything, just from what I can see from here, are there any particular markings that I might need to take note of?
No markings that you can see right now. He's wearing winter clothing, but not as much as all of you are. Either it's of much more quality than what you have, or he doesn't need it for some reason or another.
Yeah.
Based on the way that his sled is built and kind of the way that his we'll call it furs are built, are looking, you get the sense of things, that something about him is like not rich as in money, but rich as in quality, and dense and old about him. And he seems a little, I don't want to say distracted, but just kind of not quite present. That the repetition of the phrase, I'm here collecting, I collect, this is what I do in these parts, is
What is it you
strange.
collect?
Things, shiny things, things from the black parts, and at this point, Magnus, you've reached the captain.
Captain.
Oh,
Captain.
yeah.
Captain. Ooh, that's weird.
Ooh.
Captain.
Yeah. What is it? I'm awake.
Yeah, there's a man outside the boat on a sled. And Dorian thought it was important to tell you, so I'm here to tell you about this man on the sled.
I'm
Boat
sorry.
sled, technically.
Did you say there's a what?
It's not Kris Kringle. It's not Krampus or Santa Claus. But it is a sled, but it's also a boat, and he's outside the boat right now. And Dorian thought that was really important to tell you, so I'm here to tell you that. Did I tell you?
You did, yes. And you've seen the captain just woken up from sleep before. You've never had the pleasure of being the one to knock on her door. But she's just blinking and like, what is, bring him aboard. Nobody should be out in this.
Okay, I'll tell Doreen to bring him aboard. Fantastic. Bye.
I'll be up in a minute. And she starts, like, pulling on boots and throwing on an extra scarf for all the good it'll do. And hurries out. But you have enough energy that you make it out before her, but she is quick on your heels. Up there.
Yeah,
well, Pascal, what are you doing? Bring the man aboard. He shouldn't be out here in this.
Hi, Captain. You can come aboard if you like.
Ah, yes, I would. And the sled pulls up beside you.
Come warm up a bit.
I made an assumption, but I don't want to make assumptions. Are you Krampus?
No.
Okay, you have a sled. I just wanted to know. Thank you.
Valid question, though, I believe.
Right.
You have any more things for me to do, Bosun?
No, I think you've done quite enough for the moment. I think you're
okay.
You're good. Yeah. Just, wait, didn't you go? Never mind.
All you noticed was that Magnus didn't show up for a shift. You don't know that he was ever overboard.
Yeah, that's true. Didn't you go?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, where were you?
The only one who knows
anyway?
that he was overboard was Arsene.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
so
I just know he was missing.
So it's just going to suddenly hit in the. I just sort of assume he went overboard or something, so it was just sort of like, where were you last shift?
Oh, I was on the pot, sir. I know you think I'm a bad sailor, but I want to be a good sailor now. I'm going to be the best sailor. I'm going to be the best sailor. Yeah.
Magnus.
Yeah.
These are the times that try people's souls. I'm just going to tell you this once. You seem a decent lad. Just if you're on the whatever, if you're on the leaves, just make sure you stay off the leaves. That's just for right now, okay? I know people got to seek comfort where they can.
What are leaves? What leaves?
Just gonna mess.
Or should I have the leaves?
I'll tell you when you're older. Just sort of turns into.
Okay.
Yeah. Never mind. Sort of shakes his head and goes back to helping get this guy aboard.
It takes some maneuvering to get him up from the sled, and you tie the sled to the ship so that it doesn't, ship go away and sled stay behind. And the man climbs aboard. He's really of nondescript age. It's hard to get a look, an idea of how old he is in the moonlight. But scraggly, beard is not as fantastic as Smith's, but he's getting there. I mean, nobody beats Smith for beard, but Longinus gets close to it, and has one of those hats with flaps over the ears to protect him from the cold. And you do see that he's got a couple of gold rings on. Or no, you wouldn't see that because he's wearing gloves. I'm sorry. You see they're just like kind of coming out from swaths of scarf is a gold necklace with just a little chain and charm on it. Well, thank you for bringing me aboard. I appreciate that.
You
Magnus'
require
side
any medical
quest
attention.
is getting rid of all the leaves.
No.
The bosun said the leaves were bad. I'm going to find every leaf on this boat and I'm tossing it overboard. Can't have any leaves on the boat.
This is not
That would make us bad sailors.
I don't know why that's what broke me.
Oh my god.
Longinus looks at Magnus. Sorry, are you where are you looking for?
Let's see here. Under ropes, between the cracks of the boat. I am looking between the mizzen mast. I'm looking on the mizzen mast. If somebody's boot is lying around, I don't know why it would. I check boots. If I gotta touch someone's underwear, that's fine. Might be leaves in it. I'm on a quest because I'm going to be the best sailor because I know that the bosun doesn't think much of me, but I'm going to be the best sailor I can be. That means making the best boat. So I got to get rid of these leaves because the bosun said the leaves were bad.
All right. So you, one of the things that happens is you just lift up this coil of rope next to a deckhand. His name is Donnelly, and Donnelly looks at you and goes, "How you doing, mate? The perfectly coiled rope.
You got any leaves?
Leaves? But no, it's the middle of winter out here. Why would I have leaves?"
Good. Have a good one.
The hell has gotten into him? And it looks over at another deckhand. It's just like, I don't know. He's always been a little off. Guess the cold got to him.
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's perfect. Longinus watches this with fascination. And it's just like you get the sense that he was he wanted to speak about something, but has just fascinating. Do you have leaves?
What? I don't have any leaves.
Never mind.
Do you have any leaves?
I've seen gold leaf. I have not seen true leaves in a while.
Gold leaves, that sounds like the big one. Better make sure it doesn't get on this boat.
He's got a satchel of something, and he just double checks to make sure that the cover of it is closed.
Okay, I'm done for right now. My leaf quest.
Bless that. Bless Magnus. All right, so now that Magnus is off on the leaf quest and Longinus is aboard, what do you do, all of you, with him?
Imelda, they're going to ask if he requires any medical attention. Needs a doctor visit.
No, I don't. But thank you.
Just let me know if you require any medical attention.
I will.
We do frostbite checks in the morning and the evening, depending on people's shift.
That is wise.
Just looking at him, but try not to be weird about it because this guy's off on his own, collecting things. Intrigued, yet highly suspicious.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
If you'd like something to eat, we don't have much, but you're welcome to share. We got soup, and we also got soup.
Is it different soup, or is it same soup twice?
It's the same soup twice.
It's the same
There's
soup.
hardtack,
Yeah.
though.
A little bit, yeah. It's a soup with a little bit of just A little bit of seasoning dipped in it. That's about it. What we got?
You hear Graves yelling down from the bird's nest. It's hot.
Yeah.
But we ran out of seasoning. I used it for bait.
So yeah, now we only got soup at this point. Yeah, just the soup. Not the soup, just the soup.
No, I am fine. Thank you.
You wouldn't have to be selling bait, would you?
He thinks about that for a moment. No, I don't think anything I have is bait.
How about food?
No. Food isn't what I traded in. I was a surveyor aboard a salvage ship, and we got locked in similarly to you all.
Is your ship still there? You got folks aboard?
I imagine it's still there. It's been several years. So I would imagine if it's not there, it's in the deep. I took off on my own away from the ship. I was the last alive, and found a barge down here that was willing to take me in, and in exchange for that, I come out and scout, and I'm a messenger for the barge should anybody need saving, rather. And of course, if your crew would like to join the barge as well, you are more than welcome to.
They on their way in or on their way out?
They're here.
Well, they're just staying here?
Yes, the ship is free floating, and it's trapped in the ice as the rest of us, but they are able to survive.
Oh.
And he pulls a from his satchel, which you do get a glimpse of a little bit of a glint of maybe gold in there. Like he's got some treasures as well. He pulls out a mallet and unrolls a long cloth of rusting iron spikes and lays that there as if it means something to you. It does not mean anything to any of you, but he acts like it should.
Is that for us?
Should you wish. He undoes his jacket a bit and pulls scraps of cloth from within its pockets and spits on them, and that saliva is dark and like a squid's ink, similar to the blood from that creature.
Oh no!
It's Interestingly, it does not burn through the cloth.
I think Ahab's just like, well, I'm not one to look a gift horse in the mouth. Just proceeds to try and take it.
It is required of all inhabitants of the barge to bear this, the welded mark. And if anyone should want to partake in the barge's warmth and safety, will need to participate in this ritual. And
I am all right.
He continues pulling out his jacket and exposes his torso, which bears similar cloth to his chest, spiked through with some of the iron.
I'm quite all right, thank you.
You see, I thought you were just giving it to me. No, I don't.
It can be given to you. You
that.
just must partake in the ritual.
I'd rather not. Thank you. I
How
already
many
have
live on
this.
this barge?
Many. All of us.
Don't like those answers.
Tell you what, if you could capture that goal for me, I'll participate in the ritual.
The gull just caws angrily at you and stays away from Longinus.
All right, bosun, no leaves.
What? No. Good. Well, good lad. Because he has no idea that Magnus has been off doing this. So just sort of. So out of curiosity, because I'm trying to figure this out, what would we need to be able to actually get out of here? In terms of like, would we need like
Get
supplies
out of
some
here?
kind to-
Define
for
here.
our boat
Here is
to be able to make it out of the ice?
an absolute miracle.
I don't know anyone who can do any of those.
No,
That
no.
is
That would require some saint work, and it's going to take even if you were able to the icebreaker was able to move at the speed the ice move at or beyond the speed the ice is growing, it's still going to take you probably about a week to get out of here.
Yeah. So and
At least.
we're not going to be able to make it a week based on our supplies currently, or based on what?
It's that you can't outrun the ice is the problem.
Okay.
That the ice is packing in tighter and harder, so that even though the Futility is a formidable icebreaker, it can't break ice faster than the ice itself is growing. So the ice pack is growing out. So it's
So the
kind
only
of
thing that's getting this boat out is spring, basically, is what you're saying.
yeah, pretty much.
Oh, okay. All right.
You got to wait it out at this point.
Okay.
And you do not have enough supplies to make it to spring.
Yeah. Okay.
And this man is on board your ship offering warmth and safety, and in exchange for doing some ritual that involves iron spikes in your body.
Yeah. Well, the reason, of course, Pascal is skeptical of this is because he's familiar with not this particular ritual necessarily, but it's kind of not a fan of cults due to personal experience. So I'm gonna want to actually talk to the captain to sort of see what she wants to do.
Oh, wow.
See
What's
what it is
going on,
that she's
Ahab?
doing.
What's going on? Nothing? Okay.
And Longinus mentions that anybody who wishes to take the mark of the welded is welcome to do so. And there's just murmurings amongst the crew, like, do you want to do it? I mean, it's a warm safety. We're not getting out of here. You know that, right? And just kind of
Also,
mumbling.
this initiation ritual to join the Welded. And if the our boat saws out in the spring, would we be able to leave once welded, forever welded? Is that kind of, could you just explain to me the terms and conditions of this joining?
The fine print, yes.
Yes.
Once
Imelda's
welded,
so smart.
always welded. It is all of us.
So stay here forever is what you're saying.
But stay alive forever.
Wait, do you live forever? Are you forever alive, Longinus?
Yes, I think.
I want to test this theory, but I kind of don't want to stab this guy in the middle of the deck with
Well,
everyone watching.
So, I take a look at one of the iron spikes and I hold it in my hand like, wow, living forever. Just gotta do this, huh? Oh my god. Gotta stab myself?
Yes.
You're yes.
Wow.
Sorry, I needed to read or I needed to check something in the book, but yes.
I look at the spike, I look at him and say, yep, you're on the leaves, and I stab him.
Okay.
It's like, he's on the leaves.
That's I would say that's a risky action to just stab this guy in broad moonlight in front of everybody, and especially
I was contemplating it, so I'm glad. Yeah.
So make a roll.
I see nothing.
For me.
Like, what? Who stepped what?
Flesh and deep.
Okay, let's see here. What traits apply to my stabbing? Gotta practice my stabbing, Red. All right. Well, I'm going to apply my orderliness because he clearly has leaves. Service to the boat because I'm going to be the best deckhand ever, and strength, which I suddenly gained.
And what's your fall is just 2 now as Magnus, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
On die roller. Okay, so I have a I have a 12 flesh, and I have an 8 fall.
All right. What's your highest?
My highest number is a 6, and my 6 does match in my fall, so that's a roll for complication, right?
What happens when it matches? I think you succeed, but you take fall in a condition.
Cool.
Yeah. So, is there any? I'll let you choose. Is there any condition that strikes your fancy?
Let's see here.
I'll let you pick.
All right, let's see. Let's see here. Clearly I messed with his freaky artifacts, so my hand turns into a crustacean hand.
Okay. Yeah. So you do successfully. You also take a level of fall with that, because it matched your high. So you do stab him successfully, but something about the way that your hand goes in, it's just infinitely colder and also damp, like you had just stuck it in your hand in the ocean, and suddenly you see it kind of your crustacean crawling, kind of forming your hand into a crab's claw. But you do successfully stab him without any complications other than that, and the blood that comes out is deckhand warlet. Thank you, Brian. The blood that comes out is again that black ichor. Yeah. And he just sort of looks at you.
Like, no, you didn't.
No, just sort of looks at you in confusion, like tilts his head, like, and then pulls the what did you use to stab him?
One of his nails. Like he had rolled some out. Yeah, just like, oh wow, live forever. That's cool. No, you're on the leaves, dude.
Yeah. So he just leaves the spike in there. Doesn't seem to mind. Just tilts his head, and it's thicker than blood. So it doesn't quite, there's no spurting or anything, but it does. And he just, again, tilts his head and looks at you strangely. I already have the mark. Why'd you try to add a new one?
I was testing. Can I still be a good deckhand with a crab hand, bosun?
So Pascal has been trying to talk to the captain to find out what she wants to do with respect to this situation.
Wow. Yeah, so I'll talk to Imelda. Do you think I can still be a good deckhand with a crab hand?
I feel like he stops as soon as he sees that this is happening.
Yeah, Captain Beaumont does as well, and just like you were discussing, and it was an actual discussion. You know, she doesn't really have any orders. This wasn't covered in captaining school, so it was a genuine discussion that you were having with her about what. Yeah. Okay, now how do we get this guy off her boat? What do we do if people want to do this? Like you and I are on the level. We know that we're not getting out of this. And as this happens, it's just almost a comedic timing of your heads both turning to look down at Magnus stabbing the guy, and with his new crab hand.
Oh, blazes.
I retract my thought about stabbing the guy. I'm like, no, not a good idea. Yeah.
Oh.
You have to forgive young. You'll have to forgive young Magnus. He's not. They're not familiar with necessarily the protocol. Probably was trying to figure it out. There, just sort of just very cautiously. He's going to try to carefully pull Magnus away.
Yeah, I can
from the
I'm very easily pulled away.
Person.
I just mutter, I can still be a good deckhand. I can still be a good deckhand.
Yeah, no, that's right, lad. That's right. You can. You absolutely can. He's just sort of looking at the claw and is like, just kind of looking around the crew is like, I reckon we need a little time to discuss with the crew what they want to do, sir.
You see, Longinus nods, but you see a commotion. Tate, one of the other lookouts, it just kind of is pushing his way through the crowd that's gathered on board. Everybody at this point is awake and has heard about the strange person that's on the ship, and murmurs of the welded and the barge that offers warmth and safety amongst the ice have made it through to everybody. And Tate, again, one of the night shift, Graves on the night shift, the day shift scout, and it pushes his way through and goes, I'd like to join. That being if Captain doesn't mind. I mean, seeing as how we're getting out of here anyway. And Captain just looks and nods and says, it's your life.
Tate, listen to me. You do something like this, your soul ain't exactly going to come out intact. I don't reckon.
Not entirely sure I believe in stuff as that.
Oh, it's very real, unfortunately. You can grant you an eternity on that barge, but you don't know what else is going to have you do. And then what the cost is really going to be to you. You don't want to
but it's either that or dying.
Dying may be preferable. Here.
But don't you want to die a good shipmate, Tate?
Seeing as how we're not getting out of this, and being a good shipmate isn't going to do me any damn good. It's not like I'm going to be able to use that reputation. I don't see why.
This thing's going to turn you into something else. You saw what happened with this lad's hand.
Yeah? Ooh. Have you always had that?
No, I just got it. It's fresh.
Ooh.
Probably can eat it. Don't eat it, though.
That's what I'm saying. This fella ain't bleeding blood.
But amputated. Have club for dinner.
It's gonna
No,
turn you
it's
into something
mine.
else.
Tate pushes his way past you, Pascal, and steps up to Longinus, who spits again on another piece of cloth and gestures for Tate to take his jacket off so that he can get to Skin. And without much ceremony, actually, Longinus holds the cloth against Tate's skin, and Tate is shivering, like he's not going to make it 5 minutes in this cold without his jacket on. And lips are already turning blue, and Longinus drives the spike in through the cloth, and instantly Tate just drops, like he's dead. And he's just fallen there on the deck, torso impaled by this iron spike with the cloth in it. And you can see in the moonlight the red of blood slowly turning to black.
Oh no.
No, Tate.
Does he stop breathing at any point? Is he dead?
It's
Is
not
he,
an instantaneous thing.
Yeah.
He's still breathing. And it just seems like he's in some sort of stasis, like that something needs to happen, and it takes a while to do that. So he's still breathing. And you've noticed Longinus breathing as well. So he's still alive. He's just not responsive.
To wake him up.
You kind of nudge him with your foot. No response. There's murmurs. There had been a line forming behind Tate, and then there's some murmurs of, oh, what? Well, he's still breathing. I don't know. And some people in the line fall back, but others stay there. And another one steps up and goes, well, we're going to die anyway, so might as well give it a shot. What do you all do as you watch? It's not many, but it's not few. I mean, you've lost a few people to your crew is smaller than it started out. You've lost people to the cold, to the deep, to starvation, to crew sabotage, and they've come back to life. So the crew itself is smaller than when you set out, and it's not a majority, but it's also not an insignificant number of people who take a few steps and then fall down and don't look like they are in pain at all.
See the barge from here?
Not right.
Magnus prays. He just he kind of like steps back and holds his hand and rocks himself and just he prays. Maybe roll that fortune die, I guess. Just if these people don't want to be good shipmates, then may the drown take them.
Oh no.
Okay. So what are you trying to have happen?
DM's delight. Helm of the World's delight. Magnus just wants to be a good ship hand, and these people are shirking their duty, and by joining this barge,
This barge.
Down
with your ship.
and that hurts Magnus deep.
Okay. So I will say, if you succeed on the fortune roll, then the line, anybody else who's in line will change their mind and decide to stay loyal to the ship, but it's not going to change anything about anybody who's already, there's, 6 or 8 people that have already done it. But the rest of the line will just sort of come to their senses and dissipate.
Sure. Let's see here. It's one heaven die, right?
Yep.
All right. I have no idea what happens on a 1, so we'll see what I get. 4.
Sure. Mixed success. So you there's about half the people left in line that step back from it, but the remaining half. So there's about 12 people total that have taken the mark of the Welded before they stop.
Yeah. Here's the thing. So we have multiple people heading up, getting stabbed, and
Yep.
Okay. There's something I'd like to attempt to do to try to,
Okay.
the people who are, before more people get stabbed that are lining up to get stabbed. But there's a thing I would like to do if no one else wants to intervene. If no one else wants to intervene, then I'm going to do something.
Do it.
Okay.
So the fortune roll that Magnus just did kind of cut the line in half.
Yeah.
But there's still
Yeah.
people waiting.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is I want to try to save those people.
Can we see the barge from here or no?
You off in the distance, now that you know that there's something to be looking for, off in the distance you see, you had previously written it off as faint stars on the horizon line, but you do see a cluster of lights that is unusually close to each other to be stars. So presumably the barge. All right, Pascal, what's up?
Okay. I'm just looking at my traits here. Listen. And just sort of looking at the however many people have been stabbed and are now lying bleeding out on the deck.
Well, interestingly, they're not actually bleeding out. There was a little bit of blood on the cloth
from
that
red
got
to
stabbed in
black.
there that
Yeah.
turned to black, and then it just kind of stopped bleeding out. But they
And-
are functionally, non-responsive.
So just sort of come forward. No. This cannot take any more. This cannot take any more of the crew. You don't know what you're getting yourselves into. You're giving up your souls for this. You may think you get to live out forever on that barge, but your destiny ain't going to be your own. It's going to change you. You're going to be locked into them for eternity. And there'll be no
Longinus
hereafter
looks
for
at
any
you.
of you. If you don't,
Go ahead.
we've got it. And it'll just sort of, yeah. Now we can. Now I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. You know what we're in for here. But you got a choice. You can live as sailors and die as sailors. Or exist as abominations. You see, they're not doing it. They know.
A couple more
So do
people
I.
pull away.
There's no turning back. You do this. As our time
Donnelly
intermittent. Does this mean nothing to you here?
Donnelly is next in line, and he goes, I actually forgot what he was going to say. His brain, what are you doing? Because it's freezing, sir. It's not going to get warmer. He's promising warmth. I don't really care what happens to my soul as long as I don't die of the cold. And
All right, Donnelly. You want warmth? And
Oh, man.
I'm gonna just sort of step forward. I'm going to grasp Donnelly by the shoulders, hoping we're far away enough from everyone else, or I'm going to try to. We'll see. I know there's a line, so we'll see how this goes. He says, I'm gonna make this real easy for you. You want warmth? Before you get on that sled, I'll give you warmth. And the two of us are going to burst into flames. Or actually, well, just sort of like from like, I don't know if I can control it really, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try to just sort of set some. I want to be able to. I don't want it to be so much that we can't put it out.
Got it.
Because
That's
I'm
fair.
trying to scare him and everybody else.
All right.
And
I would say that's risky.
I'm setting
to
his
make a roll.
setting his shirt on fire.
Setting his shirt on fire.
His
Okay.
coat or whatever.
I would
The
say
warm
that's
hug.
It's a
yeah,
warm
totally.
hug.
a warm hug. So go ahead and
And I probably am also flaming a little bit because I think I have
Yeah.
to make this work.
I think you do too, because there's something about engulfed in flame.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
So what of your tags applies to the situation?
So I feel as though. So let me know if this works. I'm trying to maintain the morale of the crew and put them and keep them together in some ways. The maintenance, I think might work. I think compliance might work
Yeah.
here because again these are sort of orders. Can't figure out how to get ropes into it, but I did talk about the pit them against the others who are staying. So I'd like to make a case for competition. And
will
engulf your
do
body
that.
in flame, I think is the also a trait that I'm
right.
using here.
So we've got maintenance, compliance, and competition. So that is 3 flesh die.
Okay,
Your current fall, I believe, is 2.
is that
So
where
it's
we're
2
starting out? I don't know.
die. Yeah, well, because you have everybody starts with 1, and then you get 1 for each saint that you choose.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I think everybody now has 2. Arsene has had 3.
Okay,
And then you get 1 heavens die. So you're rolling 3 of one color, 2 of another, and 1 of a third.
okay.
So I need to know what
3,
your
2, and
highest
1.
roll is. Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna do 3. All right. Let me look at my thing here. Just let me see what I saw. Flesh and deep and heavens. Okay. So let's see. So for my flesh dice, I've got a 3, a 5, and a 6.
Okay.
For my 2 deep dice, I have a 1 and a 6.
Okay.
And for my 1 heavens die, let's see. I have a 1.
Okay. So some stuff happens. So this works. So you do because you rolled your highest roll was a 6, and the 6 is regardless of what pool it comes out of, it is a success. So this works. You safely away from the rest of the crew. Nobody else gets harmed. The ship doesn't get harmed. You are showing off and giving Donnelly the warmth that he has been looking for. But because your highest die was a 6, which matched the highest die of your deep roll, you take some fall. And I'm going to house rule that you can't take more than one fall per roll, because technically this would have you taking 2, and I'm just going to house rule that. So that you can only take a maximum of 1 per roll. So you do take an additional level fall, so your fall is now 3. And is there a condition that spoke to you that you would want to have, or do you want me to pick?
Do we make these up, or do we pick from a list?
There's a list in the book. There's one on page 41 and one specific to this on 58.
Okay. I'm sorry, I should have looked at these.
If you want. No, it's okay. There's a lot. So I have a suggestion if you want.
Yeah, what do you recommend?
I would say that metallic objects grow impossible to use, seeming so that they almost give you an electrical discharge when you touch them.
Yeah, can I say that basically can I flavor this a bit?
Sure.
So that basically what happens is the symbol on the side of my head starts to glow, and because this is probably the first time I've truly invoked it in a way like this to try to turn followers, which I think is something that I promised never to do when I left my order. And even though technically I'm not trying to get them to follow my saint, so I think this is kind of one of those curses that happens as a result. As I'm trying to call on them, I'm having to pay the price. Mm-hmm. And that price is that now that as this glows, and it's probably, the glow's not going to stay, but any metal that I touch and pick up is going to start glowing red. And possibly be for a moment too hot to handle, and then it will give the discharge.
Sure. So the side of the symbol on the side of your head glows as you engulf yourself and Donnelly in flames, and any metal that you touch is going to flash red and momentarily become too hot to handle. Now on. But you do succeed in setting yourself and Donnelly on fire.
Excellent.
So there's that. And Donnelly nods and just kind of tries to put himself out fire, and goes, no, you've convinced me, boss. Mm-hmm. Can you put me out now, please?
Just sort of reach down to if we have a bucket somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Of course, there's a bucket on ship.
Yeah. He'll just sort of reach down. He'll just sort of slowly. His hand will. If he can, his left hand's gonna stop flaming for a moment as he reaches down and picks up the side of the bucket by the side, and throws it on him. Throws it on Donnelly.
Oh, great! Now I'm wet in the cold. Thanks.
And he will turn, his hand continuing to blaze, turn to the rest of the crew. Anyone else want to see the light?
I will say, since you've rolled double 6s on that, which I don't actually think means anything in this game, but was pretty cool, that the rest of while you've been doing this, Longinus has been marking folks, but then the line just stops. Anybody who was still in line after watching that many of their crew members fall, and seeing the arguments, anybody who was still in line has been convinced, with you setting a member of the crew on fire, to back off on this. And Longinus just looks around. He goes, anyone else? I mean, that warmth was very short-lived. The warmth on the barge is permanent. You'll never be cold again with us.
Consummate salesman, this Longinus.
Trying to upsell you.
Just going to.
He's starting to look a little desperate as everybody has somewhat scattered.
Can
I'm
I do
gonna
something?
ask.
Oh, sure.
Oh no,
Oh.
you first. Go.
I was gonna pray to my saint.
Okay.
Try to get my. That's to get the ability activated, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try and do that.
And what's your saint's?
Right, it's Saint Exodius of the Leviathan.
Okay. Is that the summon a beast from the deep one?
Maybe.
Okay.
Well,
Excellent. Excellent.
So what do we roll for that?
It's just a fortune die.
Okay, just the fortune.
Yeah, I think so. If not, we'll figure it out later.
That's just a 3 then.
Okay. So you pray to your saint, and there's a little bit of rumblings. You know, you can the water starts to maybe churn around you a little bit, but then nothing happens. Unfortunately, sorry. Trophy has a full failure state. It looks cool, and you hear a bunch of everybody hears the water start to churn, and you've maybe seen Ahab do this before, but unfortunately, nothing happens.
I want to ask Longinus.
Sure.
Do you just convert people to the barge, or do you initiate bears as well?
We are just people.
Mm-hmm. She just very suspiciously goes, sure you are. Because there was the bear earlier and they had the black blood. So, people are just converting everything they can find. If there was houses, they'd be knocking on every door.
Yeah, the Jehovah's Witness of the Southern Pole here.
Yes.
You did notice in your examination of the knot bear earlier that you did not
Yes.
see any iron spikes in it. All you saw was the glassy stone.
Yeah, but what are they getting these iron spikes from? They could be getting it from the same source or a very similar. Yeah. I totally didn't pick up that shard so I could try to implant it in a crew member later if they got injured to see what happened. But, if they're just people are just putting iron spikes into themselves, I don't need to. It's fine. Yeah, that's all I wanted to know.
Anything else that that anybody wanted to do now that the rest of the crew, you still have, again, 10 to 12 bodies of spiked people that took the welded mark they are alive, they are breathing, but in a way that indicates some sort of stasis, like it's almost like sleeping, except for the fact that they have an iron spike with a piece of cloth stuck into them. Is there anything anyone else wants to do with Longinus before he...
When will they wake up?
I would like to test Longinus's immortality.
Okay.
Again, I love this. I'm here for this.
I kind of stand up and say, "You're making abominations of my crew and of the people that I respect. Not that they respect me that much, but that doesn't matter. I'm a member of this crew, and the bosun believes in me." So I point with my crab hand, and I'm not gonna let you do any more of this. And I will tackle him off the side.
Okay, so are you just trying to push him off the side, or are you going overboard with him?
No, me and him. Just I think I can breathe. I've done this once already.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Go ahead and make a risk roll for me. So flesh and deep and heavens heavens for sure, because you are trying to
If you
breathe
get it.
underwater.
Yeah. Whew.
So what traits are you using?
All three of my traits, because they still apply: strength and duty and service, and
Yep.
just
Love this.
I just want to be a good shipmate, and this guy is like ruining my day. Ooh, all right. So a 6 on the heaven die. I have a 9 on my flesh die, and 2 on my deep die, and no matches.
Nice. So that is a success, and you successfully breathe under. So you narrate what this looks like as you tackle this guy.
So I toss off my coat and I just run at him screaming, like just a mad dash at this guy who's ruining my ship and taking my shipmates, and I can't take it anymore. And I take him by the midsection, and if I can get at some of those pins or nails, great. Like, you know, if he thinks he's so cool, let's test it, and let's just go overboard, me and him. And
absolutely,
we might break a side rail, and we careen off the side and into the water.
Absolutely, that's totally what happens. You're gonna bull rush this guy, and he is taken by surprise as you do this. Was not expecting the deckhand to rush him like that, and the rest of you watch as Magnus and this guy kind of tumble overboard, and you hear the splash fall into the water. And Magnus, you are successfully breathing underwater. It is, however, really fucking cold.
Well, I mean, I've got other problems, complications, body complications, but we'll see how long I last. We'll see how long he lasts.
Just sort of seeing this. Just going to put myself out and sort of stop and just sort of turn to Ahab. Get the net.
It's the net.
Ahab's just standing there.
Ahab's not getting the net. I gotta throw you off as well. You have one job, Ahab. This involves picking him up. Oh, for God's sake.
I mean, I can use my harpoon. I mean, I don't really fish with nets. I thought you knew that.
Yeah.
I use lines and
everyone
and
here fishes with net. Dear God.
This isn't a fisher boat. If this was a fisher, yes, we'd fish with nets, but this isn't a fisher.
You can't get him with the net. You can use the harpoon gun. I'll patch it up.
Yeah.
Just don't aim for the center. Try to get a limb if you can.
All right.
I'm going to
aim for a limb.
Scramble people to try to get a net to try to get Magnus. Hopefully, you have to move fast.
Ahab is arming the harpoon gun.
No,
apparently
just a hand harpoon.
Just a hand harpoon. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll for that. Because
cool.
Well, not risky.
The outcome than a harpoon.
Yeah, well, not risky to you necessarily. Certainly risky to Magnus with an outcome in flux.
Watch him up. It'll be fine. He's got that crab cloth. You could aim for just under the crab. We got dinner. Everything will be taken care of.
I'm gonna use my heaven die just in case.
Okay.
Ooh, My 6 is my highest, and that was a flesh die.
Nice. All right. So you narrate what happens. What were you aiming for?
The crab claw.
Okay. Hits the crab claw perfectly in the center. You hear if you were closer, you'd hear a little crack in the crab claw. And Magnus, it hurts like hell, but you have a harpoon in your crab claw, a sentence I did not anticipate uttering this morning.
Well, I mean, a blessing's a blessing. I guess I try to get him with the harpoon, like in my crab claw, like just.
Yeah, I'm just trying to hoist him up along.
Okay. And
good, you got him. Sehr gut. Wunderbar.
Got the crab claw too.
As you successfully have harpooned your crewmate, and you haul him with the assistance of a couple of other people, Donnelly included. You haul him back on board successfully. Longinus is nowhere to be seen. He is down in the deep. Magnus, you let him go as soon as you hit the water. Magnus, other than the harpoon in your crab claw, you're not harmed. It is freezing, and you should probably get dried off or into dry clothing soon. But you have still have the bodies of your crewmates on the ship, but Longinus is gone. Nobody else seems interested in the mark of the Welded, and you have Magnus back on board.
I'm gonna turn to Imelda and be like, so what are the odds that crab claw is going to have to be amputated?
Oof, I'm going to have to examine that. Let me see here. Oof.
What do I look like on the inside?
I think it's have to go.
I guess Imelda will find out. I have no idea.
I'd like to imagine that the crab claw itself is like actual crab. Like, ooh, crab meat. But then everything else is just some other material because you're a construct. And it's like,
sure.
What is this?
Yeah, I have no idea what I look like on the inside. You tell me.
Yeah, I think this crab claw is going to have to go. This is very interesting.
And as Imelda is examining the crab claw, that is where we will end for the night. About halfway through our voyage.
Everybody gets crab soup for dinner.
Yes, it's we have hot soup that now has crab in it. And Graves is like, yeah, crab from the top of the.
Oh my god!
Crab soup a la Magnus.
Crab a la Magnus.
Listen, it's cold and you're running out of rations. I don't think people really care.
Snow crab.
Yes.
Awesome. Oh my god, that's good. That's very good.
Yeah. Water stew now with crab.
Now with crab.
Now with crab.
It's now seafood soup.
It is. It's not just hot water.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. So we have come to our conclusion for this session.
Yes, we have come to the middle.
We have successfully middled. Excellent.
We have successfully middled.
Awesome. Well, I can't say enough good things about this. This is an absolute delight, and I am excited to see how the rest of this story goes. This is glorious. We're gonna go ahead and go around and do our outros, then, folks. Everyone can feel free to plug anything you like, tell folks where they can find you, and feel free to give any final thoughts you may have on the session or favorite moments or what have you. And we're going to go around the opposite way, so we will start with our Helm of the World, Sara.
Hello, I am Sara. I am Sara of Swords on Twitter, and that's really the only platform that I'm active on, but you can find me elsewhere as Sara of Swords as well if you want to follow an inactive account. And here's where you can find me. I'm just here. And I got nothing else going on. So you will find me here next Thursday, continuing our Wreck of the Futility session. Thank you.
Excellent.
And I love this group. I love this crew. I love Magnus. I love Arsene. I love Imelda, Ahab, Pascal, the whole group. You all are wonderful, and there were so many great moments. I did not expect to get to break as much as I did in a horror game, but I'm here for it.
The quest for leaves.
I mean,
the quest for leaves.
And when it comes down to it, that Longinus was definitely behaving like someone who's on the leaves. So
absolutely,
it's totally justified, I think. But now let us head over to Hollow.
Hey, I'm Hollow. You can find me on Twitter at HollowInvective. I had a great time. I knew that Arsene was doomed from the beginning. Arsene Lupin's like one of my favorite characters, and I knew I couldn't be super cool. I didn't want to be super cool, so he was fucked from the beginning. Like it was gonna happen. And seeing a moment to just portray someone that I murdered tried to murder was too tempting after the fact. So, and I have a desk full of character sheets, so I'm ready.
Excellent. That's what we like to hear. And now let us head over to Lindy.
Me. Hi. Hello. I'm Lindy. That was super fun. I feel I like how Wilde and I are on the same page. Like, get the crab claw dinner. Just harpoon your teammate. Nothing like a little teammate, crew member harpoon action. It's fine. We don't do terrible experiments to people or anything ever in other games or, betray people.
Never.
No, it's great. Never. And I love it. So yeah, that was just, I thought that was fun. I'm really intrigued by the storyline. I do not trust this barge, and I think we should try to take it for ourselves. That would go well, but whatever. You can find me online at LaughLoveLindy. I play and GM some tabletop RPGs. You can find me tomorrow night on Trooper SJP's channel for City of Light and Shadow, which is a 1941 French Resistance campaign. It's super duper fun and very intense. Gets very, very serious at times, but it's really good. And you can find me on my own channel on Mondays and Tuesdays for some Dungeons and Dragons, where we've got cool time travel adventure on Mondays, and Ravenloft, the Grand Conjunction's happening, so on Tuesdays. And then once a month on Saturdays, you can find a very intense Aliens game on my channel, where it's Aliens, it's Predator, there's all Blade Runners all mixed in, and it's a beautiful mess that we're all doomed. That's me.
Excellent. Folks, yeah, seriously, check out that Aliens game. It's phenomenal. And finally, let us head over to Wilde.
Yes, hello, I'm Wilde, Wilde Engineer on Twitch and Twitter. Today was very fun. I continued my character trend of trying to eat ill-advised food. Unfortunately, it didn't happen this time.
I don't know. I mean, I feel someone else's crab claw is ill-advised, but that's just me.
I guess it depends on who's asking.
For the crew.
Had a lot of fun playing with y'all. Got to a lot more hijinks than I thought would happen, that's for sure. You could also catch me here on Saturdays while I make even more ill-advised decisions. Some would say possibly worse. It's just some bit of Invisible Sun, and I guess you at Wild Engineer on Twitch and Twitter. I'm not really on there, but yeah.
All right. Excellent. And who am I? I'm Jim. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and games I've written, among other things. As mentioned, on this channel on Saturday nights, we have our Invisible Sun game, The Edge of Paradox, where we recently had a nice cheerful conversation with a void demon, which was delightful, and just sort of a revelation about something that one of the PCs actually built sometime in the past and no longer remembers building. So this it's going to be, I think, quite interesting as things that are that have been hidden are coming to the fore, and these strange things called consequences apparently seem to be manifesting. And it's just an utter delight. And then, of course, on Thursday nights we have more of this, and I can't wait to see what happens next. This is going to be freaking awesome. When we hit the end card, we're going to send a raid over to, let's see, we'll go ahead and send a raid over to Wandering Society. They're over there doing possibly, it looks like they might be continuing to do some charity stuff over there. So we're gonna go over there and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on and say hi to them with us if you are so inclined. That again will be when we hit the end card. They have, a few familiar faces over there, Anino among them. So we're gonna go say hi. And in the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.